Well, a safety alert tonight. High school football can be a rugged and physical competition, sometimes leaving players with injuries, including concussions. But the next time you are in the stands, take a moment to look at the sidelines. That's where another class of athlete is training for perfection. As NBC 15's Darwin Singleton shows us, cheerleaders experience almost as many concussions as the players themselves.
Ask any cheerleader why they do it, and he or she may not be able to put their finger on it. They just know.
I really do like to cheer.
You love it, right?
I do.
Aubrey Parker is a junior at the University of South Alabama. She's been cheering since she was 5 years old. It's a sport that served her well until this past summer when she was practicing a routine flip at a local gym. As with any stunt, she was being spotted by a coach to control it, but something went wrong.
I went up to the air, up in the air, and he bumped my back, so it made me over-rotate. And I over-rotated on my neck and my head on the mat, and it was actually pretty bad. I was really dizzy, and head was hurting tremendously. They were like, well, try to sit up. And I was like, well, I don't even think I can do that.
Turns out Aubrey had a concussion. Just how often does this happen? Well, more than you might think. In fact, a recent article in the medical journal Pediatrics lists cheerleading second only to football for concussions suffered during practice, coming in ahead of other sports like hockey and soccer. As with any sport, cheerleading carries with it its own risk of injury. But what's being done to protect your children when they're out on the field or out on that competition floor? You're looking at an Alabama regional cheerleading competition in Mobile. While cheerleading is not a sanctioned sport in Alabama schools, if they want to compete here, they'll have to play by their rules. Well, not their rules.
We also are part of the National Federation of High Schools, which does sanction cheerleading.
It's often up to the school systems to decide on their own just how high these cheerleaders can physically go. But when and if a student does get a concussion,
all the coaches who are here today must be AHSAA certified, so they have to take the concussion course.
Cheerleading is a sport that extends well beyond the school gymnasium. That's why many cheerleaders train independently at local gyms like this one in Bruton, Alabama.
If you can, get all the way to the top, but we want it at least to be above the chin.
Josh Williamson of All-Star Academy has been teaching gymnastics for 2 decades. I asked him what parents should look for when choosing a gym with safety in mind.
Student-teacher ratio should be at least 1 coach per 8 athletes. Anything over that can be hard to manage.
And Josh says take a good look at the gym itself.
You know, if the appearance is tattered and torn, then maybe their approach to coaching is also.
Remember, no sport is without its risks. It's up to the cheerleader, their coach, and the parents to minimize the opportunity of injury. In Mobile, Darwin Singleton, NBC 15 News.
Most Alabama high school cheer competitions are governed by the National Federation of State High School Associations. This year, they've instituted nearly 30 rule changes to make the sport safer.